everybody, and welcome to another episode of Baking Commotions with Ms Nevotion. I first want to start by thanking everybody who's been watching consistently over the last couple of weeks. I really appreciate you tuning in. For those of you who are new, I am Ms Nevotion, and this is my baking show. You can find us here every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. So today, we hit the first day of fall this past week, so I wanted to go ahead and start with some baking items that represent really the fall season. So today we are doing pecan pie bars. Pecan pie is actually one of my favorites, so I wanted to see how this tastes in a bar format. I've never actually made these. This is a new recipe for me, so I'm actually pretty excited to start these. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven. So we have this at 350. I always get that going before, because then once you get started, your oven will be ready to go. So go ahead and get that started. You'll want a 9 by 13 inch baking pan, cake pan here. So you want to have that ready to go. So then the first thing that we're going to be working on is our crust. So we have 2 cups of flour, and I'm using gluten-free. I'm going to be making these bars gluten-free. You can choose to do regular flour or gluten-free. So we'll just dump that in this mixing bowl here. You do not need a blender for this part. Then we have 1 cup of brown sugar. So you'll get that in there. And then you'll just want to mix these 2 ingredients together, just so that they're pretty well mixed in here. And this crust is not going to be smooth. So once we start adding in the butter, it's going to be pretty crumbly, and you'll pat that down once we get that into the pan. So just note that it's not going to be kind of that creamy, real blended mixture that you might be used to when making certain types of bars or cakes or pies. Alright, so once we have that pretty well mixed, and that's kind of what it's going to look like. You'll just want to make sure it's pretty mixed in there. Then we're going to add in the butter. And you're just going to do this a little bit at a time. I'm just going to do a couple chunks at a time here. Mix that in. And again, this is going to be pretty lumpy, crumbly mixture. And once those pieces are mixed in, you can just keep adding them as you go. And I kind of cut the butter as I'm mixing here, and then mixing it all together. You can hear our dogs in the background. This is their playtime, so they're having a good old time. They always need to be part of our videos somehow, whether it's the noises they're making or in our TikToks, they gotta jump in the videos, so they are always a part of our videos and our live broadcasts. Okay, so that looks pretty good, so I'm going to add some more in here. Again, just a couple chunks at a time. Mix it in here, cut it in. You can kind of see I'm making a cutting motion here. And then I'm kind of pressing down. If you're familiar with pies, how you kind of press on the outside to make a crust, that's just kind of what I'm doing here. So just mix it as well as possible. Again, it's going to be very crumbly, not that creamy mixture, well mixed mixture, again, you might be used to with those cakes and different bars and pies. So I'm just going to add the rest in here. Alright, and then just mix. And you might make a mess. It's flour, it gets messy. I always make messes. So you can see that's kind of the consistency that you're looking for. It's pretty crumbly. I'm going to continue to mix a little bit more here because I want the butter to get to the bottom here. Alright, so now that I have that all mixed together, there's kind of what your final mixture is going to look like. I'm going to take my pan here and pour the mixture onto the bottom of the pan. And you're just going to make sure it's evenly distributed throughout the pan here. You can kind of mix if you have some bigger chunks, so I'm seeing in here, just mix that in there at the end, that's no big deal. And then just press down so it's even on the bottom there. You want to press down pretty firmly so it's nice and packed in there solid so it cooks well. And again, you want to get the bottom as evenly distributed as you can so that the crust is even for the bars. I usually go over these kind of crusts a few times. Okay, I feel pretty good about that, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. Again, 350 degrees. And we're going to let that bake for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, so as the crust is baking, we are going to work on the pecan pie topping. So I've already put in the mixture here, 1 cup dark corn syrup, 1 teaspoon vanilla, and then an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So that we already have in here. So I'm going to add 5 eggs, and then 2/3 cup sugar. So we're just going to add that in there. And we're going to make sure that that mixes really well here. So just start on a low speed. Again, I always recommend my handy KitchenAid mixer here. It's a lifesaver. So just start off slow so things start to mix really well. You can increase the speed as the ingredients start to mix and blend well together. I would say probably give it about 30 seconds to a minute until it's really well blended and the mixtures and the ingredients are all mixed together well. Alright, so that looks good. So we're going to take that off of here. And then we're going to add the last ingredients, which is the chopped pecans. So you want 2 cups of these. Just dump that in there. And then just mix that well together. So as you can see, this is a pretty easy recipe, which always makes me happy, right? Quick and easy, the easier the better. More simple, the better. So we're just going to keep this mixed together, make sure all the pecans are mixed in well. And then we'll put these, when the crust is complete, we'll put this mixture on top of the crust, reduce the heat to 275, and bake an additional 50 minutes. Okay, so our crust should be done, so I'm going to take that out of the oven here. Alright, and as you can see, it's a very light golden brown, and that's what you're looking for. So we're going to add our topping that we mixed together in here, and I'm just going to give it another mix here just before I spread it on there. The syrup tends to settle on the bottom, so I just want to mix that together one more time. Then you're just going to evenly pour it across your crust here. And then just move it around so it's evenly across your bar, your crust, I mean. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is reduce the heat in what we're baking at. So you want to reduce that to 275 and then place it back in the oven. And this is going to cook an additional 30 minutes. I'm going to grab it. And as I mentioned before, I highly recommend rotating your bars throughout the baking process. This just ensures that they bake evenly. All right, so it has been 50 minutes, so our bars should be all set to go. So let's take them out here. Oh my goodness, they smell so good. I'm so excited to try these. So there you are, pecan pie bars. You're all set to go. You'll want to let those cool for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then you can go ahead and cut those up. And that's it. That's all we had for today. I hope you enjoyed the new recipe here. And until next Saturday, 10 a.m. Central, this is Baking Commotions with Ms Nevotion. All right, so thank you again for everybody for watching my Baking Commotions with Ms Nevotion today. So I wanted to start giving you all an idea of what these taste like. So I have my sampler here, my lovely husband who's willing to sample my baked goods. So, all right, babe, let's hear it. How does it taste? Pecan pie bar. Good?
Really good.
Now, are you just saying that because you're my husband?
It's really good. Wow. It's really good. Wow. I love the texture. The flavor is like on point. I feel like I'm being a pig right now. But it's really good. Seriously. Amazing.
You're making a mess.
There's only 3 seconds.
So that's a thumbs up? All right. Thanks, babe. So if you're interested, these are for ordering. So we have a half pan available or full pan available. If you're interested, let me know. Pecan pie bars. Thumbs up from Mr. Rico Nevotion.